Welcome back. This is take 2 of part 8. In part 7, we had been solving a trig equation, 2 times sine theta plus 3, what was that equal to? Equals to 4. And we wanted to find all real theta such that the left-hand side would be 4. Note that the solution set is going to be infinitely long. Okay. At the end of our last video, and I'll show you that slide again, we had taken the inverse sine of 1/2 to find our an approximation for our first solution. Yes. When we isolated sine theta on the left, we got 1/2 on the right-hand side. And when we applied arc sine to both sides, we're left simply with theta on the left. And this is kind of a symbol like square root 2 would be an exact irrational number. But the best we can do approximating is to truncate and round. Now, the more familiar we are with the unit circle, we'll recognize that if we look back and find theta such that sine of theta is 1/2, our smallest positive angle would be pi over 6 radians. Okay. And at the end of the last video, I had intended to preview that there's a second solution because the domain of sine has to be restricted just to the 4th quadrant and the 1st quadrant. I was going to prompt you that there was going to be a second value of theta, namely 5 pi over 6, in the 2nd quadrant that also satisfies the equation. And then I'll go on and show you how to make an infinite list of solutions. Okay, so back to the beginning. So we had isolated sine of theta. And on the right-hand side of the equation, we had gotten 1/2. Okay. And using a calculator, we got our first value of theta as a solution. And we only got one solution because the calculator only views the portion of sine from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2. Ooh, that's getting small. And now we have to broaden our view and note that there's going to be infinitely many solutions where the horizontal line 1/2 intersects sine. Okay. Now referring back to our illustration of the unit circle, okay, a rotation of pi over 6, its terminal side will be in the 1st quadrant. And that gives us a vertical distance of 1/2. And from our experience with the unit circle, we can find a second angle, it happens to be obtuse, whose vertical distance from the horizontal axis is also 1/2. And if you think about it a little bit, my drawing's not very good, but that value of theta is going to be 5 pi over 6. It won't quite be 180 degrees. It will not quite be